You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
The post 9/11 generation shares their thoughts about the day that changed America forever, and find out why one group is suing Alabama Governor Robert Bentley. Hello everyone, I'm Claire Huddleston. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been almost 10 years since the September 11th attack, and many people are using this anniversary to reflect on the past 10 years. But some were too young to remember September 11th, 2001. WVUA's Sarah Chavnik spoke with local fifth graders who were only months old at the time of the attacks.
It was nearly 10 years ago, but many Americans can still remember what they were doing when they heard the towers had been hit. Some were too young to remember.
I remember later on when I was older, we talked about it in school, what had happened and all the details. They told us that the terrorists had bombed the Twin Towers in New York City and that a lot of people had died, heroes.
I know that the Twin Towers fell at different times, and there were people that died on that day.
I know that one plane was fixing to hit the Capitol, but it flew over, and they knew they were going to die anyway, but they landed in Pennsylvania.
Ann Campbell, who was teaching third grade in 2001, says she will never forget that day.
I remember stepping across to ask a teacher a question, and she was watching it on TV. I said, well, what movie are you showing your class? And she said, no, this is actually taking place right now in America. And I remember having to tell my students about what had happened, what they were going to hear when they got home, what they were going to see on the news. I had to explain what the word terrorist meant.
For parents like Kinsley's father, who was in the Navy, the news meant change.
When he had to pack up as soon as he heard about it, and then that's why he had to go to Iraq. He says how proud he is about the firefighters and the police that came in the ambulance.
Teachers say it's important to educate the post 9/11 generation and never let the memory of that day die.
It is part of history, so it's up to us to educate students in history. Let them know these things happen, and I tell my students all the time, they are the future, they are the world, they can make changes.
In Tuscaloosa County, Sarah Chavnik, WVUA News.
Teachers like Ann Campbell have used this week to teach students about what it means to be a hero. Law enforcement officials from around the country helped in the 9/11 recovery efforts. That includes Sheriff Ted Sexton and members of the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office. WVUA's Daniel Sparkman has more.
9/11 brought about many changes in the months after the terror attacks. Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's deputies joined Sheriff Ted Sexton in New York just a month after the attacks to assess the issues with the immediate response.
The exchange of information, which 10 years ago was extremely slow, was siloed. People were not sharing information. Alabama has one of 77 fusion centers, which is used every day in all hazards, all crime approach. But information is flowing up and down the chain and across, which is very important.
10 years later, Sheriff Sexton explains how our lives are different.
What has taken place, as I've mentioned, about interoperability, the development of Homeland Security, a lot of changes in our lives, in the way that we travel, in the way that people enter our country or exit our country.
Sheriff Sexton says Tuscaloosa's ability to respond rapidly and effectively to the April 27th tornadoes was because of lessons learned during 9/11.
Between 9/11, Katrina, we have come far and away over the last 10 years. Our ability to respond in large part was due to what we have learned from 9/11, Katrina, and our involvements of being able to respond to catastrophic events.
Sexton says his visits to Ground Zero left a lasting impression on him and his department. In Tuscaloosa, Daniel Sparkman, WVUA News.
Sexton says through 9/11, law enforcement agencies also learned how to better help officers cope with tragedy and stress. 9/11 claimed the lives of more firefighters than any single incident in U.S. history. It was a dark day for the fire service in our country. A few days after September 11th, 2001, WVUA's Lynn Brooks filed this report and showed our viewers how local fire departments rallied behind New York's first responders.
When the World Trade Center was hit, firefighters were the first on the scene. And after the building collapsed, scores were killed. Since then, Tuscaloosa firefighters have been drawn to the television with heavy hearts.
Anytime that there's a large incident like this, especially when it's our brother firefighters, whatever city it may be, that we look at it from the nature of our own response. Should an aircraft have struck what we consider to be a large building here, we would have entered the same way. And if that building had collapsed because of the interior structure being burned out, then we would have been in the same shape.
It was tragic. The firefighters, the main goal is to help other people, and they're going in there to help other people doing their job, as would we.
I knew that the fire department was on the scene, and that would have been the first thing they would have done, was enter the building and try to get people out. And that was my first thought. Ain't no telling how many firemen got killed.
American flags have been placed on the lawn here at Fire Station 1 and also on all of the fire trucks. That's in memory of those who've lost their lives.
We understand that this is the nature of our job, that we do respond when there is a need.
The Alabama Association of Fire Chiefs set up a special fund for New York firefighters and their families following 9/11. Compass Bank accepted the donations. America began the war on terror after September 11, 2001, and this weekend you can honor veterans right here in West Alabama. The Tuscaloosa VA Medical Center is hosting Picnic in the Park this Saturday. It's for returning combat veterans from Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and now Operation New Dawn. There will be free food, music, and games for the kids. Information on benefits and services will also be available. Picnic in the Park is Saturday from 10 until 2. For more information, call 205-554-2000. Time for a first look at Alabama's home team forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott. Hey, Richard.
Hey, Claire, getting kind of cool on this Thursday night. Temperatures down in the 50s in Haleyville and Winston County. Also, Demopolis down in Marengo County, 59 degrees, 62 in Tuscaloosa, 68, one of the warmer spots in Birmingham. And clear, 65 degrees and no chance for rain tonight. We stay clear and dry. All the clouds are starting to finally move out of our neck of the woods, move on towards the north and east behind the remnants of what's left of the lead, bringing lots of rain earlier this week. But the good news is no rain tomorrow morning. Our bus stop forecast for our Friday morning, 55 degrees on average. Kind of chilly out there starting off our Friday. But what about the rest of the forecast and your weekend forecast? Home team weather is coming up.
A former Alabama Education Association president is suing Governor Robert Bentley. Anita Gibson is suing over 3 Senate bills. The AEA says the bills could cost education $80 million a year. The bills authorize Bentley to approve tax credits to attract industry. AEA funding and revenue manager Susan Kennedy says allowing use of the tax credits reduces education trust fund revenues. A mysterious llama roaming Tuscaloosa County has found its way back home. The llama was first spotted near Hargrove Road in the outskirts of Cottondale. The Carnes family said they saw it last Friday and became concerned about its well-being. Fran Carnes says it belongs to a neighbor about a mile away, and the llama has been reunited with its owner. Legendary Crimson Tide coach Paul Bear Bryant is being brought to life on stage. Theater Tuscaloosa is presenting an original production of Bear Country. It's the tale of the life and career of the football coach who won the most college national championships in history. You can see it September 9th through October 2nd at the Bean Brown Theater at Shelton State Community College. Right now, be the third caller and you'll win a family 4-pack to see Bear Country. If you're our lucky winner, give our contest operator your name and phone number. Follow the instructions and your tickets will be waiting for you at the theater.